Hey there, good morning. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. It is Thursday. Happy Friday Eve, July the 17th. And I think we're going to have plenty to talk about on our Ben at 10 show today as we have a front that's going to move into the area into this ugly heat and humidity. We could have a heat index up around 100 before we get the storm chance, and that'll spark up these scattered showers and thunderstorms. And some of these could be on the strong side that we'll need to watch out for. We're talking about microbursts potential, downburst potential. Some of these storms are going to be water-loaded tropical storms, and they couldn't put down a brief, isolated, damaging wind gust. Now, the other issue that we're going to have to watch out for, maybe even later today, but also through the weekend into early next week, will be the continuation of these daily storm chances, which could lead to some flooding potential. Just east of Metro Louisville, there is a flood watch out. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover here. We're going to be timing out these storms today, tomorrow, and for a while here as this just really steamy and sometimes stormy weather pattern continues across the area. We'll take a peek outside. We'll get to some of the comments as well. Here you can see the live conditions as we look in uptown New Albany here at a lot of sunshine. UV index is going to be a very high level of 9 today. So we are going to have some skyrocketing heat and humidity before we get that chance of storms. And it looks like the best chance of storms is going to be late afternoon, firing up across the area. We'll compare and contrast the high resolution weather model data. That's the HER weather model and also the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, as we often do. And we're also going to take a look at the radar and satellite, of course, around the region, a complex of storms out in southwestern Missouri. As far as our area, we are mainly dry currently, a couple of little showers to the southeast of Danville, Kentucky, and then a little tiny shower activity just starting to pop up as we look at a little closer view here of Bullitt County. Can't rule out a stray shower or two that develops before the main development, the main show, so to speak, later this afternoon into the evening time, with the potential of some of those stronger thunderstorms, which could pack some torrential rainfall, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, flooding potential, isolated damaging winds, tornado threat, super, super low. Now, I was showing you a shower yesterday morning at this time around Seymour. There was pretty much no lightning in it, and it actually produced a very, very brief tornado touchdown, not associated with a mesocyclone, which is a supercell. So that can happen every once in a while. It was very weak, and it actually, in fact, it was an EF undetermined. It really didn't show much damage. It just kind of barely touched down in a field. That was southwest of Seymour, not far from Crothersville. There was some video of that. And so the Indianapolis National Weather Service did confirm a very, very brief tornado touchdown. But that's not going to be an issue. We're talking about, mostly garden variety thunderstorms, but a few of those could be on the stronger side. So the Storm Prediction Center has our area under level 1 out of 5, the lowest level. It's called marginal for the risk of severe weather for today. All right, so we are going to be tracking that here coming up here shortly. And so, again, as I mentioned, plenty to talk about here for today. I'd love to get into the comments here to get us going. We've got Beverly Hagist, almost always the number one comment there from Borden, Indiana. Also from Borden, Perry Porter. I'm in the door with the coffee. Sounds good this morning. I've already had the coffee, so I'm trying to mix in a little bit of water here with the Big Happy. So cheers to you if you're on the porch, the back deck, or wherever you might be, or at work. Peggy Sipes, good morning to you. And Weezer, good morning. I hope the back is better. The back is still struggling. And so my conundrum here is, I've got to get the yard mowed eventually. The grass and the weeds are getting pretty tall. But the other issue, other than the back, is the fact that we get this repeated rainfall, and it's getting so soggy. I'm not sure when we're going to be able to do that. So Dennis Gregory, happy Friday Eve. Good morning from Bedford, Indiana. Thanks for watching up in Bedford. Dancha, good morning to you. Angela, good morning. Sun is shining up in the clouds. Looking ahead, thanks to your updates for the Highlands. You have an awesome day. So, yeah, we'll be looking at the storm chances all across the area here in just a second. You guys are busy this morning. We've got Lily and Lasley with a good morning, a hello from Vicki Berger. Lisa, good morning to you. And Tammy Morton, also a good morning. So thanks for that. Always brightening my day early in the morning with those good mornings here. And again, we're looking at the radar and satellite combined across the area. And we'll get into that weather model data here. We typically get into that around 10:15, 10:20. Just wanted to show you this, I guess we call it tropical low pressure, but it's not expected to become a depression or a storm, but it is providing some very heavy rainfall over parts of Louisiana and the Gulf Coast here. So that's going to be just, maybe not the best vacation weather down that way, but not a strong system with that. So no major development there with that low pressure system. Let me go out of the full screen here view, and you can see that the National Hurricane Center has been tracking that low pressure ever since it was off the southeast coast, crossed over northern Florida. You can see the track of that. And then the low pressure center there just off the coast of New Orleans. And so that's where they got some messy weather down south. So tropical in nature, but not officially like a tropical system, so to speak. All right, so that's what we have out there right now. And getting back to a couple. Is the back a strain or degenerative bones? I would say it is a disc that hit a nerve, and then boom, you got some muscle strain. So mostly muscle is what that is. And the weather is awful sometimes on our backs. Ice is your best friend, and stretching. I've been doing a ton of stretching, some anti-inflammatories. And then what my problem is, if it feels even a little bit better, I get really active, and then I set myself back. Hard, pun intended, hard for me to lay down and let it chill as I stay pretty busy outside of our weather content that we're putting out here. All right, let me bring up our current conditions and look outside and all that fun stuff here. And I do want to remind you, as always, you can get some more weather content anytime you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week here. We've got our live stream up on extolmag.com/weather. There's the 7-day forecast that I have posted there. The weather story is updated, as you can see here. So bookmark extolmag.com/weather, extolmag.com. So this is the story that I've put together for today that shows the storm chances popping up. You can see the high resolution weather model data, the storm prediction risk, the forecast today, the 7-day forecast, and our newest sponsor right there, Michael Long with American Family Insurance. So you can click on that advertising banner there at extolmag.com/weather, or you can learn more about Michael Long at amfam.com. Just put in his name. Pretty easy to do right there, Michael Long. Or you can call him 812-578-3072. He can write you up a quote. He's proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer service right there. So he's been my agent for many years now, my mom's agent, and boy, have we had some problems he has helped us through. 2 car accidents, roof damage, and worked closely with Lions Roofing to get that done for my mom here recently with that storm in March. Lions Roofing, they were awesome too, really expedited everything as quickly as possible, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You can call them 812-294-3595, lionsroofingco.com. Go to the careers section, and they do have this roofing repair technician job opening there for you. Maybe a friend, family member needs an opportunity. Check that out. And then Libs Paving, here is libspaving.com, the top asphalt contractor in the region. And you go up in here to the careers section. And again, if you know someone that needs an opportunity, just cruise down to the bottom, apply now. There's the available employment opportunities, and they do have a bunch. So empowering many people here in Southern Indiana. And who else is powering up Southern Indiana? That would be Ivy Tech Community College Sellersburg campus. You belong here, and they're going to meet you where you are at. You could be in high school. You could be in college. You could be in your middle of your career and you want to change or you want to level up. Learn more about it here at ivytech.edu, and just head to locations, head to the Sellersburg campus, and they're going to help you out with tuition, aid, all the programs that they partner up with businesses and organizations and high schools throughout all of Southern Indiana. You'll be impressed to see what they are all about, so check them out. So thanks again to our partners there. And here's a live look at another view around Southern Indiana. And we do have some bright sunshine across the area right now. Look there over the Falls of the Ohio. This is the Falls of the Ohio Foundation camera. Looks like someone's out there on the observation deck checking things out this morning. Don't see any fishing boats on this view. I do see someone out there maybe throwing in the line and checking that out. So good view this morning, but again, that sunshine and that heat and one of the muggiest days we've had this year. The humidity is going to be off the charts. All that's going to be the fuel for the potential of some of these strong thunderstorms later on today that we are about to take a look at with the high. Look at that towering cube. That's a cumulus cloud already starting to jump up. So that's a parcel of warm air. Like you hold a beach ball underwater in the pool and then you let go. That's what the atmosphere does when it's unstable. So that's a little parcel of air that shot up and made that cumulus cloud. Not big enough to cause any rain yet, but we're going to see more of those towering cumulonimbus clouds later on today. All right, again, that's all the resources there that are at extolmag.com/weather, and then Falls of the Foundation on the Ohio River Cam there is always fun to check out as well. And Angela saying about my bad back right now. That's what you need to do is chill, just saying. I know, that's what the doctor ordered. That's what I need to do. We've got DM Smith, hello from Bardstown, Kentucky. Thanks for putting in where you're watching from. Love to see, pinpointing all across the area. We've got Bedford, Indiana. We got Bardstown. We got Lillian Lasley from Litchfield. We're covering all of Southern Indiana, all the way down to Central and Southern Kentucky. So thanks for tuning in all across the area. Barbara Haas, good morning to you. Maybe not the best golf day later this afternoon. My son's going to try to play golf at Neville Mead later this afternoon. Hopefully you can do a storm dodge out there. Wendy Davis, hello to you. And DM says, very muggy here in Kentucky. I'll be glad when it leaves. Speaking of that, that's a good point here, DM, because I'm curious. Our low temperatures have been in the 70s for so long. We've had no respite from the humidity. Yeah, we get breaks in the extreme heat from storms that pass through, but the humidity doesn't go away. So I'm curious. I'm going to check with the National Weather Service because they've got a look at the climate books, and they've got a good way to query these questions. But are we looking at record warm, low temperatures with this stretch of muggy weather that we've had? That is good for like corn and soybeans. It's growing around the clock with this humid weather, plenty of rain for the growing season, as long as we don't get flooding in the fields. But it is just oppressive on our heating and cooling as the systems are running nonstop, trying to get the humidity out of the air. So maybe we're looking at, record warm nighttime temperatures because of the incredible amount of moisture in the air. It is a big sponge, no doubt about that. So Angela, thanks for popping in the comments there. All right, let's get to the forecast. I mentioned all of our sponsors there and partners, and just want to remind you, you can partner up as well. Let me go ahead and bring this up to the stage there. Here's a good, easy way to contact me. Now, if you have any weather questions, you want something on our Ben at 10 show, some weather content that you're not seeing, any suggestions, this is your show. So let me know what you might want to see. And then also, if you want to partner up, you want us to be your Southern Indiana and beyond megaphone, we'll help to get the word out about your organization, your business. You can contact me, Ben at extolmag.com, Jason at extolmag.com. Jason, part owner here at Extol Media, and we can help you out. Love to get in contact with you. So just reach out right there. And our weather headlines for today, for our July 17th, strong afternoon thunderstorms likely, isolated damaging wind, frequent lightning, and some localized flooding potential. It would be a super low threat of any severe weather for today. But check this out. This is scud clouds, cumulus congestus from Melvin Hardin. This was near Orleans, Indiana, yesterday evening. And look closely there. Looks like a little wedge tornado, little funnel down there. This is the updraft of a cumulonimbus cloud, a storm. And so this is where a tornado would form. However, there was no rotation here. So this is the scud clouds. Often I call them SLC clouds, or scary looking clouds. They mimic a tornado. They look like a tornado. Sometimes law enforcement and locals and other folks will report it as a tornado because it looks so much like it. But if there's no rotation and they're just kind of ragged looking, a lot of times that is just a lowering in the updraft base of a storm. So looks like that's what that was, not rotation there. Thanks, Melvin, for sharing that to me on Facebook yesterday. And this was shared to our Indiana Skies group, a towering cumulonimbus cloud. So I think we're going to see these growing this afternoon, these powerful clouds, these huge updrafts that become storm clouds. You got the overshooting top, you got the anvil that spreads out when it shoots over the stable layer way up high in the sky. We're talking 30, 40, 50,000 feet up in the air. And then you can see more of those shoots going up into cumulonimbus clouds. So you can please share any photos that you might see, of course, when it's safe to do. If there's any damage or flooding or whatever it might be weather-wise, you can share that to our Indiana Skies group on Facebook. Feel free to head there now and check it out and check out some of the pictures and share them. And I'd love to share them here too. The play ball forecast for today, we're looking at 88 at noon, 91 this afternoon. But that 91 will likely feel like around 100 because the dew points are in the mid-70s, out of control. Mugginess is what we have. The dew points are very tropical, just as tropical as Florida. 78 at 8 p.m. I do think if we get those storms to roll through, might feel a little bit better there as we drop into the 70s toward evening time. I'm going to give that rain chance about 70% chance, and you'll see why as we look at the latest weather model data here in just a second. So the wind's fairly light overall. Before we get the storm chance, the UV index is going to be very high at 9, so can be easy to burn out there. The good news is the rain does hold down the pollen levels, but also this time of the year, early midsummer, we're kind of in a lull between the grass and tree pollen season, which is kind of behind us now, and then next up is the weed and ragweed pollen season. So we're ramping up to the ragweed season later this summer. 91 degrees, that forecast here for today. Ugly heat, we'll call it, and humidity, and strong storms possible. West wind at around 5 to 15. And our low for tonight, 73. Showers and thunderstorms could continue through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. Now, the thing here with Friday is we could see the lingering showers and thunderstorms along this front that just becomes kind of stationary over the area tomorrow morning. Might settle us down for tomorrow afternoon. So it actually might be a day where it's a little wetter in the morning than in the afternoon, kind of like what we had yesterday, before we had some night storms move back in late yesterday. Wind will be light tonight, sun up at around 6:34 tomorrow morning. Your forecast here for tomorrow, 70s out the door again, and a chance for some scattered showers in the morning, maybe around a 60% chance of that. 84 at noon, and then looking drier in the afternoon with a high up to 88, but feeling warmer than that because of the humidity that will not go away anytime soon. Beverly Haig is saying Florida can have their weather back. Eventually we'll get a break, but I don't see any break anytime soon. All right, here's the 7-day forecast. We're going to go occasional scattered showers and thunderstorms all the way through early next week. Again, Friday, perhaps that better chance in the morning time than afternoon. Then scattered storms likely Saturday, 89 degrees. Not a total washout any day, but can get that round of storms to move through, especially the afternoon time and the early evening. 91 Sunday, around 90 Monday. Now, the only big difference I see here in the long-range outlook, the models try to build in a ridge of high pressure that would suppress the storm development, but make that heat more oppressive. So looking at around 95, heat index probably well over 100 next Wednesday and Thursday. So a trade-off, drier but hotter as we go into next week. And again, we're taking a live look. If you're just popping in outside and starting to see some of the cumulus clouds already growing in that tropical area that we have across the area. That's a look at the corner of Market and Vincennes here in uptown New Albany. Cheers to our Friday Eve. As we take that out, we're going to bring up the weather model data here. Things are again pretty quiet as we look at the radar and satellite combined. We're seeing a couple of showers trying to pop up here and there, mainly east of I-65 and mainly in Kentucky at the moment. So we can actually go ahead and put on the live radar scan for that. And we're going to spend some time on the weather model data here and really dig in and take our time. We're looking at a lot of different parameters here, dew points, temperatures, all that fun stuff, maybe even the winds. But first, that live radar, in case you are heading out the door. Be nice if the rain would wash all of the allergy away, Lillian says. And it does that a lot of times. So little popcorn showers as we do a little tour of the radar before we get into the weather model data for later on today. We'll just go north to south. So as we do a kind of a super zoom here, just to the east of Crestwood, south of LaGrange, we've got a little shower here at Kentucky 22 and 393. I need to take a closer look there. Little tiny shower. Off to the far southeastern corner of Jefferson County, Kentucky, there at the Spencer, Bullitt, Jefferson County line combo. We've got a little shower here at 1531 and 1319, just off to the northeast of Mount Washington, and then just to the west of Taylorsville. You've got a couple of these showers. You can probably see those out your window as they're a towering cumulus cloud. A little shower there south of Bloomfield. Again, these are tiny. These are like mile wide. At the golf tournament my son was in at Wooded View not long ago, I am not kidding whatsoever when I say this, how isolated these showers are. We were looking at a fairway over, and my friend Chad and Kim were seeing this too. And we saw rain on this fairway. And then we look at the fairway that we're on, and it is sunshine and dry. That's how isolated these showers can be this time of the year. So that is what we have out there now. Again, not a whole lot as we look at that live sweep. Most areas are currently dry, but we are going to be watching areas to the north, perhaps sprouting some thunderstorms and getting closer to our area. I would say mid-afternoon, we'll likely see a lot of that bubbling up, if not before, because our atmosphere is kind of supercharged and ready to go and fire off some of these storms today. So with that said, well, actually, I want to look at a little more current data before we get to the future radar here at 1023. So this is a look at the dew points. It's kind of crazy as we look at this. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up full screen, but everybody here, these are happy people. These are happy people. Low humidity, not a good smiley face there. Everybody else down here, that is just sweaty people. Sweaty versus happy people is what we have. So our dew points, look at, I mean, this is just as soupy as our air can get. Dew point 77, northern Hardin County, 74 in Louisville. So mid to upper 70s dew points. We go south to Florida and similar dew points there along the Gulf Coast. So all of that is tropical air. So the northwestern half of the United States under feel-good conditions, and the southeastern half of the United States under the tropical air. Okay, so that's the setup that we have. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be like this for a long time. Just have to try to get used to it. But, you know, I mean, if it's cold, we complain. If it's muggy, we complain. We're susceptible to complaining about the weather no matter what. So these are the current temperatures, and this will show you kind of the front as well. As you see, 70s, 80s under that tropical air, and then the cooler air up to the northwest. These are the current temperatures across the, so again, just feeling better. Look at that, refreshing 50s, 60s over the northwestern half of the United States. And then we are in the muggy zones. All right, so enough of that. We know it's uncomfortable out there. Let's get to the future radar and look ahead to what's happening later on today. And if you're a familiar viewer, if you're of the show here, you know we typically like to start with the HRRR High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. This is at 11 o'clock this morning. It shows the complex of storms out over Missouri and Kansas, not much over our area, so the initialization is looking pretty good here. So this is time 0 as we start off. Now let's go to 1 o'clock. We see anything popping? Not much. Cumulus clouds starting to grow, maybe an isolated shower. This is around 2 o'clock. Just a little bit of development. This is 3 p.m. Starting to see a couple of little poppers out there. 4 o'clock, starting to see them grow bigger and bigger, which would be kind of right on time. 5 p.m., there we go. They're growing. They're growing here. So this is at 5 o'clock. Scattered popcorn thunderstorms across the area. Now, again, the nature of these storms, if they collapse, these are water loaded. They can sometimes put down an isolated downburst and produce some localized damaging wind gusts. They also could be slow movers and produce some localized flooding too. All right, 6 p.m., ramping things up a little bit more. Look at the dark red and purple colors there. It's just indicating some very heavy rainfall rates. And also some frequent cloud-to-ground lightning is going to be possible too. Here we go to 7 o'clock. Active weather all across the region. Now, it might take longer for this to drop down towards parts of central southern Kentucky along and south of the Bluegrass Parkway. Here we go to 8 o'clock at night. This could be a busy afternoon and busy evening and busy overnight. And this could lead us to some flooding potential as well. All right, this is at 10 p.m. We're going to go to 11 o'clock. Might get a little break here and there, but as we head through the overnight, this is 2 a.m. Still looking at the potential of some storms. Going to go to the 48-hour version of the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. And Michael Montgomery says, yay, storm chase on the ride home, ... again. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. It's not fun to drive in this blinding rain that pops up. So this is going into 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock. I want to show you tomorrow morning because it looks like it still could be a bit busy as we get started tomorrow morning. Look at this, 7 a.m. So we've got this front basically stalling out over the area and giving us rounds of showers and thunderstorms, not only for the afternoon, not only for the evening, not only for the overnight, but into tomorrow morning. Starting the day, we could have some downpours across the area. And again, repeated rounds of rainfall could lead to some flooding potential. This is at 7 a.m., which I don't like. No one likes flooding, obviously. There's been some heartbreaking flood problems, especially down in Texas, that we've talked about, and you've heard, of course, on the network news and all that stuff. But obviously, a lot of issues with flooding. You don't want the farm, if you got the corn and the soybeans growing so well, you don't want that to flood out and cause issues in the fields. You don't want this time of the year the creeks and the rivers to get all muddy. My pond out back is clear. You can see the fish swimming, and then it just turns into muddiness and pea soup. So it's never fun to have flooding issues in the summertime. But it's something that it's our reality here with the repeated chances of showers and thunderstorms across the region. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for your July the 18th Friday. So happy Friday tomorrow. But this is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice there's still the chance of some showers and thunderstorms across the area. This is at noon tomorrow. What we're going to try to do after, again, all this rain through tomorrow morning, trying to get a drier time tomorrow afternoon. So this is 3 o'clock tomorrow, notice things kind of winding down. And so perhaps, yeah, wet in the morning, but drier in the afternoon for our Friday. And then here we go. Our little cheap pool in a box might be overflowing in the backyard after all this rain. This is 4 p.m. tomorrow, and it shows just an isolated pop-up. So I've got it at about a 20% chance tomorrow afternoon, but a higher chance tomorrow morning. So a lot going on here over the next 24, 48 hours. So this is a trend. We'll see if this happens. So this is tomorrow evening, Friday evening. It shows the better chance over central Kentucky and a bit drier over southern Indiana. So just something to kind of keep an eye on there. Now, so we've got a look at the HRRR there. Let's switch over into the NAM 3 kilometer, the other high resolution weather model. I'm going to back this up to, again, time now on our July 17th. We'll look at the reflectivity. And it's not showing much out there. It also has that complex of storms out of Missouri and into Kansas. It did kind of develop it a little farther south for us this afternoon. When I checked this out a little bit earlier, this is at 1 p.m. and notice some things starting to fire up there. So it fires it up a little bit sooner than the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, the HRRR, which could happen. We're already starting to see some cumulus clouds building out there now and a couple of pop-up showers just east of Louisville in Kentucky right now. So this is at 3 p.m. It has a trend along and south of 64 where the HRRR weather model had it more north. I'm kind of buying the HRRR weather model being more scattered over more of the area. I don't necessarily think it's going to be confined to areas along and south of 64 like this shows. Either way, they both show some explosive thunderstorm development during the mid and late afternoon hours, during the peak heating of the day. So there you can see we've got plenty of fuel for these thunderstorms. There's no doubt about that. This is at 5 p.m. And these could be some lightning factories, by the way, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. If you hear the thunder roar, head indoors is always the good old saying there. And the saying for flooding, of course, is remember your good friend Tad, T-A-D-D, turn around, don't drown. DM Smith, thanks for the detailed updates of what is coming for Kentucky. Thanks for watching. All right, we're moving along. This is this afternoon, 5 p.m. Here is 6 o'clock, rocking and rolling across the area. Here is 7 o'clock. Now, this is at 7 o'clock. We'll go 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It is also showing more weather possible through the overnight hours. Just some scattered showers, some downpours. Let me jump ahead to around sunrise tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And notice it also has scattered showers as we start our Friday. That was at 7 a.m. Here is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here is 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to jump ahead to tomorrow afternoon and see if it also kind of settles things down in the afternoon tomorrow. So kind of a flip-flop day for our Friday. Could be wet to start and then drier in the afternoon. But it also has this trend that the HRRR showed with central southern Kentucky with some redevelopment tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, drier in Indiana. You can see that off to the south. So it looks like that boundary settles over central southern Kentucky tomorrow with a higher chance there tomorrow afternoon. But in general, soggier in the morning Friday, drier in the afternoon. All right. There's our hour by hour. That wore me out a little bit, looking at all that activity there. Let's bring up the Storm Prediction Center because I know you saw some big, bad red and purple colors there. But in general, this is going to be a low threat of severe weather. So the Storm Prediction Center has our region, southern Indiana, and all of the Commonwealth under a level 1 out of 5, so the lowest risk. This is called a marginal risk of severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center is a division of the National Weather Service based out of Norman, Oklahoma. Their one big job is to look across the United States and see where severe weather might happen. So we're under level 1. The tornado threat, almost 0. And then you've got a little threat of some isolated downburst winds. When these storms collapse, they might produce some damaging winds. Frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Again, this might be a lightning show later on today. And then torrential rainfall, which could lead to some localized flooding. So we're going to have to watch out for that. And then as we go to day 2 from the Storm Prediction Center, we're under no risk of severe weather there for our Friday. And then Saturday is level 1, once again, with the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts with that. And that level 1 goes out towards the northern Great Plains as well. All right. Moving along, shall we? Let's bring up real quick the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. What a change. Ridge of high pressure building in middle of next week. I mentioned this when we began our Ben at 10 show this morning. As that ridge builds, it could build heat and then lower chance of storms by the middle of next week. Could be talking mid-90s at least, heat index 105-ish. So above normal temperature outlook for the 6 to 10 day outlook. That puts us towards the middle and end of next week. 2-week outlook. This shows above average chances of above normal temperatures for much of the United States. And again, we might not be talking record high temperatures here, but I'm very curious to see if these we've been kind of near record low temperatures, which is around 80 in the city for the lowest nighttime temperature, then 70s in outlying areas. I'm wondering if we're at a stretch of the longest running day by day of warm nights, which would be the cause of muggy weather. If you have high dew points, you cannot get the temperature to go below the dew point. If you've got dew points in the 60s, you can get down to the 60s. If you have dew points in the 50s, you can get our nighttime temperatures down to the 50s. But when you're tropical and you've got dew points in the 70s, you cannot cool it off even during the overnight hours very much. So we're going to be checking on that data here in a little bit. All right, so that is the Climate Prediction Center. Rain totals. We can now break out the GFS weather model, which is going to take us down to the long run. What I'm concerned about here as we bring up the GFS weather model. If there was a concern of mine in the long run, talking 2 weeks out, maybe through early August, we're on the edge of a ridge of high pressure, sometimes called the ring of fire. We might have repeated rounds of showers and thunderstorms with just a little, maybe day or two break of some drier weather. This could lead to flooding issues. This happened 1993 in St. Louis with historic Mississippi River flooding. We don't want that to happen. Not wanting to even put it out there. But if we get in that pattern, that would be a problem. That would be a problem. And we're going to take a look at the long-range data here. And I want to bring up the total amount of precipitation over. This is through August 2nd. And that's the problem. All right. I want you to look here closely. This is a bullseye of inches and inches of rainfall. Why would this happen? Well, the ridge starts to set up out west of us like this, okay? And then the jet stream is along the northern fringe of that ridge, and we would just be in the storm highway for weeks, next couple weeks. So, and not only the GFS, but the European weather model is also showing that potential of a bullseye from the upper Midwest, Minnesota, down south through the Ohio River Valley, through Indiana, through Kentucky. Hope it doesn't happen, but they're both showing that signal of that ring of fire storm chance continuously off and on for the rest of this month. So, don't put any bets on these totals or anything like that. But there you can see inches of rainfall. Now, this is over a period of, a couple weeks, but there could be some areas that see more of this because of the convective nature of thunderstorms and the isolated nature of thunderstorms. It can put down heavier amounts in some areas more than others. But kind of concerning as far as a flood threat the next couple of weeks. Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. That is if there's a bullseye of rain in the continental United States, it is upper Midwest to the Ohio Valley, Indiana, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Not good news there that I'm sharing with you, unfortunately. Vicky Berger, I bet you like dressing casually instead of the suit and tie. More comfortable, I imagine. Vicky, the suit and tie is garbage. Who likes to wear a suit and tie? Almost nobody wears them. I don't see lawyers wearing them. I don't see bankers wearing them. I don't see anybody wearing ties in the morning. I don't see, a lot of times, network news anchors don't even wear it anymore. Cheers to that. Yeah, when I was done with the suit and tie, I gave it all to Goodwill. I kept like a couple suits for maybe like a wedding or something like that. But those days are over, the old suit and tie. Here's a look outside at sunshine and a few of those puffy cumulus clouds here at the corner of Vincennes and Market on this humid July the 17th. You're watching Ben at 10 here. We've got Mary Ridge from Sulphur, Indiana. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in there. And cutting back to me here. We're going to get back to the forecast, and then we'll wrap things up. There's been plenty to talk about on this Friday Eve. And we're at 10:42. So thanks for tuning in here. Okay, let me get rid of that, and we're going to bring back up the forecast here. So your weather headlines for this July 17th, 2025. Strong afternoon and evening thunderstorms, isolated damaging wind, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, could be lightning factories, localized flooding. And there was one thing that I wanted to bring up that I didn't bring up, and it was, so bear with me here, the convective available CAPE for today. Yes. All right. I'm going to remove that and bring this back up. So take a look at this just to show you the juice in the atmosphere already. So the red and the pink colors, that is your, stop drawing there. All right, there we go. So northwestern half of the United States where there's dry air, no juice for thunderstorms, tropical air over us. Storm fuel is what that is. That's now, as we go into the afternoon today, look at the storm fuel that we have across the area. We're talking 4,000 to 5,000 joules per kilogram. Explosive atmosphere. Almost too much convective available potential energy for thunderstorms. So it's like a loaded gun there with the amount of storm fuel that we have across the area. And we got a good morning from Debbie Cheatham. Thanks for watching here this morning. And Michael Burton, like I said before, waves of storms. Michael throwing out the flood alarm last couple of days. And I'm with you. We're going to have to watch out for that. So again, there's your weather headlines. This, again, if you missed it earlier, was a picture sent to me yesterday from Melvin Hardin from Orleans, Indiana. This was a kind of a mimic tornado. These are scud clouds, or what we joke around sometimes in meteorology is SLC cloud, scary looking cloud. These are cumulus congestus. They're down under the updraft of a towering cumulonimbus cloud, or AKA a storm. And this would be where a tornado would likely form, but there wasn't really any wind to form a tornado. So these are just kind of ragged looking clouds. There wasn't rotation with this. They can get very close to the treetops. some of these scary looking clouds, but they kind of mimic a tornado sometimes. But there was just southwest of Seymour, Indiana. I was tracking that downpour yesterday morning, and it actually did put down a very brief little spin up, an EFU, which I've never seen, EF undefined, meaning that it dropped down so quickly, it really didn't do damage. So it didn't have an EF0 or a 1 or anything like that, undefined. And this is a towering cumulus cloud from Robert Fisher, sent to our Indiana Skies group. Thank you, Robert, for sharing that one. So that's we're going to see some of those out there today, no doubt about that. All right, so that forecast here, 91, feeling like around 100 before you get that chance of storms. That chance of storms is about a 70%. And that UV index 9, very high before we get that storm chance. Allergy report is low today, kind of in between pollen seasons, as ragweed will be later on this summer. Here's your July 17th, 91, ugly heat and humidity and some strong storms possible. We covered that in detail. And if you're just tuning in, you can watch the replay as we went hour by hour by hour with the high resolution weather model data for the timing of the storms. Low tonight, 73. Showers and storms will likely continue off and on through the nighttime. You might wake up to some lightning and thunder every once in a while, but the severe weather threat is super low for us. And then our forecast tomorrow, we're likely going to see showers in the morning time and then a drier afternoon for tomorrow. So kind of flip-flop of what we have had for most of this season. 70s in the morning. It's going to be humid, no doubt about that. 88, that high, feeling a little bit hotter than that. And then our 7-day forecast rolls on with upper 80s, low 90s through the weekend into early next week with occasional showers and thunderstorms. And then going into the middle of next week, we could have a ridge of high pressure set up over the area. This could promote drier conditions, but hotter weather. Conservative 95, heat index 100, 105 next Wednesday, Thursday. No reprieve from the humidity anytime soon. And we could be looking at a pretty overall stormy pattern for the next 2 weeks at least. And we saw that bullseye of heavy rain over the region through August 2nd. Again, not the best news. There's my forecast today and all the scribbles on it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cheers with the big happy. I've just got some water here. It's almost time for that lunchtime. And we're going to remove that, bring that up. Boom, boom, boom. As we begin to finish up our Ben at 10 today. So this is a resource that is always at your fingertips, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is extolmag.com/weather. You've got my live stream up there. 7-day forecast with a weather story that I've posted here for you. Just click on that weather story right there. So today it says strong storms possible, kind of like your weather blog of the day. And everywhere has the interactive radar on it, by the way. Wherever you go, it's right there with the current conditions and the 3-day forecast. But there you can see the maps that I posted this morning with the severe weather risk, today's forecast, 7-day forecast. Sometimes I talk more about the long-range forecast, and one of our newest sponsors, Michael Long, insurance agent here with American Family Insurance. Just click on that, heads right over to his page. Get in contact with him. If you want somebody that has your back, you can rely on them to call you back, work with the adjuster, work with the contractors, or the auto body repair. I've been through all this, and he made it so easy for me. 812-578-3072. He's going to guide you along that process. Take the pictures, get the quotes, all that stuff. So Michael Long, representing a lot of folks in Southern Indiana, 5-star reviews all over the place. And you can ask anybody from the Salem area, the Bedford area, but he covers all of Indiana. He donates a lot back to the schools and the sports program. So thanks for all you do there, Michael Long. And he actually had to help me work with my mom and my grandma with their roofing problems, with Lions Roofing. Work together so well, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You get your free estimate right there. If you have any roofing issues, you can call 812-294-3595 for more information there. It's the lionsroofingco.com career section. They do have a job opening, roofing repair technician. You can scroll through there and apply for that job right there online. You can also apply for a bunch of jobs online at libspaving.com. LIB as in Ben, S paving.com. And a lot of opportunities there for maybe you, your friend, your family member, your child, your grandchild. If they need an opportunity, there you go. We're growing opportunities here in Southern Indiana, and they here at Ivy Tech go to locations, Sellersburg. They are leveling us all up. They are the engine for Southern Indiana. They're providing their workforce with 2-year certification programs. Right out of high school, you could be ready to go, shot out into the workforce. If you're already in the workforce, you want to level up. There's 42 different programs here. Not only can you check out everything, look at tuition, aid help. They've got programs. They're partnering up with local businesses and local schools. They're making it all happen here for us here in Southern Indiana. So shout out to them, to all they do, and for personally helping my daughter out, starting off as a second-year sophomore at IU. So thanks to all the friendly folks there at Ivy Tech Sellersburg. So what I mentioned, you can go there online or you can go there in person and learn more about their beautiful little campus nestled there in Sellersburg. Exit 9, right off I-65. Get off the exit, take it left, and there you are right there. So thanks to our partners there. This is the camera at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation, seeing a few of those cumulus clouds growing, and that's likely looking at a couple of those showers that were isolated there just east of Jefferson County, just east of the metro. But there you can see we have a sunny start for the most part across the area as we look at the fossil beds there by the Falls of the Ohio. All right, we're wrapping it up here. Cut to a live look out there, and maybe one last look at the live radar. And then you're probably tired of hearing me talk, but I'll have updates throughout the day on Facebook. Radar updates and that kind of thing. We've got you covered here with Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, extolmag.com/weather. And on YouTube. Thanks for liking or subscribing as we look at what we have out here live. Nothing in Southern Indiana at the moment. There's been a couple little showers popping up on the Spencer and Shelby County line, right between Shelbyville and Taylorsville, right surrounded by Kentucky 44, 148, and 56. South of 64 is the one shower that we have out there right now. Thanks, too, if you're watching the replay later on today. Drop in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. Again, around 20 minutes or so is when we get into the weather model data and do that high-resolution, rapid refresh weather models and look hour by hour at the forecast. And we look at the long-range data, typically 10:30 to 10:40. Then we wrap things up with another recap of your forecast. That's typically how it goes. Look at our last comments of the morning. All right. So Michael Burton said, like I said before, with the waves of storms every day, not only flash flooding, but also river flooding, including the Ohio, with inches of rain possible over the next couple of weeks. And that is not good. I concur, good sir. Vicky said, good luck to Brady today. Yeah, hopefully you can do the storm dodge out at Neville Mead Golf Course. Listen to your doctor. I need to rest the back. Yeah, that is true. Although I need to mow the yard too, which with all these storm chances, I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to mow the yard. Hopefully this weekend sometime. Mary Ridge, next week looks like a scorcher. Electrolytes and fluids. Keep it in mind. You can, with this humidity, if the AC is not working good, you can sweat at night. You sweat in the afternoon. That dehydration can catch up to you day by day. Not a bad thing to keep in mind. You guys have been busy in the comments. I appreciate that. And again, please hit that red button or whatever color it is, the like, the subscribe. If you subscribe on YouTube, Extol Media, we've got a weather section there. If we do go live covering severe weather, you get a notification. And then if you like it, you're going to see our videos pop up more in your feed. So thanks for doing that. Weezer says, thank you very much. Have a great day. Stay safe from DM Smith. We've got Celeste Garrett with a good morning from Elizabethtown. And we're gonna end it with Vicky here this morning with have a great day. All right, so tomorrow morning, Friday, we'll likely be tracking some showers in the morning, then a drier afternoon. We'll talk more about our storm chances. We'll look at the long-range weather model data. Thanks for joining our weather conversation. Remember, this is your show. Don't be shy to drop in the comments, suggestions, comments, whatever you want there. We can look at different maps. We can do your personalized forecast here. We can go across the country and take a look at a lot of different stuff with our technology here at the Extol Media Studios and Extol Weather. All right, that's it. Well, have a great day and be safe in the storm chances later on this afternoon. When the thunder roars, head indoors. Try not to get caught in those torrential downpours out there and the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. See you later.